Welcome back to the St. James in Hagerstown, Maryland. It's the St. James Invitational Tournament, an elite high school basketball showcase presented by Zips Dry Cleaners. Up next, it is Scotland Campus Prep against the host school, St. James. Hello and welcome in. I am Brian Kapoor alongside Teddy Gelman, and this should be a fun one. We already started with a great game from the get-go.
And now we see the host school, St. James, who's already lost 2 games in this tournament against really high-quality teams. And today they're going to go up against the Scotland Prep squad. It is a really high-quality team with fifth-year players. They're all seniors, and this is a Scotland Campus team that is going to be a challenge to St. James. Of course, we just saw the other Scotland Campus team, against Trinity Collegiate, but 2 more really great games to go today as we wrap up this tournament.
And of course, we have the nightcap, the one that we're all looking forward to, National Christian Academy against Southern California, a nationally ranked squad, 5:15 p.m., but a lot of great basketball to go. This game, of course, a showcase game, not part of the tournament bracket as St. James takes on Scotland Campus Prep. Of course, Combine Academy and Maria Goretti, your third-place game at roughly 3:30. As we get ready to send it down to the floor for your Geico starting lineups, getting a look at Scotland Prep. And Teddy, this is going to be a fun team to watch. Anyone in particular stand out to you?
Well, we're going to learn a lot about this team today. Of course, we haven't seen them play in this tournament, but they've got Ro Cooper, a 6'6 forward, who's going to be in the front court, taking up a lot of space, along with Sayo Kenneth, 6'5 forward. This is a team, 5th year, all post-grad. Scotland Campus has got another prep team that's even better, that's a top 10 team in the country, but this is a really high-quality team. It's going to be tough for St. James.
And, of course, St. James starters, it's going to be fun to watch them as well as the host school.
Yeah, you look at the brothers, Jaden Ross, Jacob Ross. Of course, Jaden Ross with the Virginia Tech offer recently. Jeremiah Gordon as well, the point guard. This is a team, they fell into 2 games this tournament. It's a young team, but it's a team that's put up a lot of fight, and we expect a good game today.
And those are your Geico starting lineups. Remember, whether you rent or own, Geico makes it easy to bundle home and car insurance. Go to geico.com today.
There you see head coach Kevin Breslin for St. James. It's head coach Brandon Perry for Scotland Prep. Again, we're trying to learn a lot ourselves about this Scotland Prep team. We know it's all 5th-year players. We know that a lot of these guys, looking to play at the next level, probably in a D2 program, and they're continuing to, hopefully get looks today. We got a lot of scouts out here. See what they got.
And for St. James, out in Hagerstown, a bit of a drive from D.C., but they have put out some great talent. Name that you might remember, especially as a Monumental Sports Network viewer, Justin Robinson. Came out of St. James a few years ago. I covered that team. They won a Mid-Atlantic Conference a couple years ago, so it's going to be fun to see how this one develops. Being the host school, there's always a little extra sizzle to it. You want to have a great showing at your own event.
And, of course, you want to match up against the best, and that's what we've seen St. James do so far. 3 games, 3 really good opponents.
And we are underway. Scotland in the red uniforms, white numbers, St. James in the white with maroon. And just like that off the bat, we got a 3-ball. That's Lucas Henderson from France with the triple. St. James bringing it up. Solomon Ball, number 1, controls. Ball looks for some help, gets it to Jaden Ross, number 11. Little handoff there to 25. Ross controls up top, guarded very tightly by Clover. Looking for a 3 on the other end, doesn't go. It does go! That hits everything, top of the backboard, and finds a way to go in for 3. As this one now is controlled by Scotland. Scotland working it around the horn once more. Underneath. And that's going to be a travel. That's a double hop there for 23. Kenneth. And take another look at your Gatorade. First 3 of the game. St. James kicks it into the corner, and then this beautiful 3-ball hits the rim, hits the other rim, hits the upright, and then hits the bottom of the net. That is your Gatorade. First 3 of the game by Jeremiah Gorham.
Yeah, Gorham, Brian, just talking with head coach Kevin Breslin before the game, Gorham, he's a mainstay in this program. He's been in this program since he's been in this school since 8th grade. Excellent academically. Of course, we're going to see him a lot today as their point guard.
Baseline drive, and they're going to say foul on the floor for Ross. So first team foul going to be assessed to Scotland. And that foul going to go on number 3, his first personal.
Nice take there by Solo Ball, able to get inside with the finish. And, for St. James in this game, a good start really goes a long way against a team they haven't seen before. It's a new foe in this Scotland Prep team.
And you look at this Scotland Prep roster, very talented roster. Again, talked about how they have basically 3 varsity teams as they get the bucket there. This team full of fifth-year players and D2 level type of players, talking to some of their staff. A very short drive to get here, too. You forget how north and west we are in Maryland, just a sneeze away from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, number of prep teams on this squad. This is just a high-quality program, this Scotland Campus School up in Pennsylvania. And, relatively, you could consider it a local matchup between them and St. James.
Prep working around up top. That is Rue Cooper, and he'll go inside for 2.
Yeah, good take in. Pretty finish. Nice weave, able to get into the paint.
Scotland Prep talking about their international base. You got a player from France, Japan, and the U.S. So 3 countries, as that was a block, and it doesn't get cleaner than that, as all you heard was ball, but it's going to be a whistle for 2.
How about that for Jacob Ross, number 13. On the fast break, Jacob Ross gets up high, waits a second, and then swats it away. Although it will earn a couple shots from the free throw line for number 5, Henderson.
I guess the body contact?
Because they called it. It looked like a pretty good block to me.
So that one will count for Henderson.
Unfortunately, we're not seeing DJ Jameson from Japan for Scotland Prep. He played AAU basketball with Solo Ball on Global Squad a couple summers ago. So, again, you see the connections between these 2 squads in the community.
Ross working it with Gorham. Back to Ross near side. Great just tap pass to Jacob Ross. And that is taken away. Here come the Knights in transition. 2-on-1. And that will go in off the glass. Count it for 23. Sayo Kenneth. And we'll get a whistle as it looked like Solomon Ball was fouled.
Well, for Ball, and the rest of this St. James team, there hasn't been a lot of space to work offensively yet. You see Scotland with this early 5-point lead, but you look at the steal on the other end, the pass from Ross, just not really in a good area, and they take it away.
That one set in, and here come the Knights. Again, transition going up, and somehow avoids the ball block, and that is a bucket for number 25, CJ Miles. St. James underneath, that one is blocked, and the rebound taken away by Clover off the block. Corner 3 hits everything but the bottom. Rebound is saved by the Knights. They'll kick it out. Long 3 again off the mark, rebounded there by number 25, Kofi Asari. Looking for that one off the mark. Knights control.
Most of these for St. James have just been one and dones. No second chance opportunities so far.
And that one taken away by Ross, so let's see what he can do on this one. He'll take it. Is that going to be a charge or a foul? It will be a blocking foul, so it will stay with St. James.
Really close call here. You see that left foot maybe moving just a little bit. Probably a good call.
As the kids say on TikTok, block or charge.
Yeah, that was a tough one. You hope that the left foot would have stayed there if you're Scotland Prep. But for Jaden Ross and Jacob Ross, going to be really fun to see them 2 play together today. Of course, Jaden Ross, Virginia Tech offer, among others. Younger brother, Jacob. He's going to get looks down the years as well.
This has been such a quick pace. All of a sudden you look up and it's 12-6.
Yeah, for Scotland's really run. They've pushed it in fast break. They've gotten quick buckets. You hope for St. James maybe the pace will slow a little bit.
Also, Penn State and Temple offers a lot of relatively close local looks as baseline drive and great ball movement from the Knights. Spin move at the top, long two, back iron doesn't go, and that is going to be rebounded by 21, Dylan Murphy, the Maryland native. Underneath, Murphy again. 3-ball, that is off the mark, and that is saved in the VIP seating section again. And check out the effort from number 32, Rue Cooper. Rue's fitting out there like a kangaroo, bouncing around on the baseline. One more try, and that one won't go for Ross. St. James with an offensive board. The other Ross hits the triple, and St. James wants a full timeout as they've cut into this deficit.
Yeah, I mean, just a couple minutes, quick start for Scotland Prep, and they really pushed it. It allowed them to get out to the early lead. But you look at what happened on this last possession here for Cooper. You know, jumps out of play, able to keep it in. Then the ball is loose. The shot is off the mark, gets the ball, able to come back up with it and put it in. Those are the type of hustle plays that this Prep team has had in this first one. And on the other end, Ross. Beautiful stroke. Missed it, though. They get the second opportunity with the other Ross.
And you got to think, when they're going home after games, they're looking at the book and seeing who had more buckets. So that one goes to the younger.
And when you look at the way in the results for this St. James team so far this tournament, you know, a big-time loss to Southern California, an extremely talented team we'll see later tonight on Thursday. But they bounced back yesterday. They lost by 15 to Trinity Collegiate. If you saw Trinity in the last game, just a really well-balanced team. Another challenge here today for Scotland Prep. Good adjustment after the first few minutes for head coach Kevin Breslin and St. James.
And I'm going to credit St. James. A lot of times you are the host school of these events. I've seen host schools stack a tournament where they play the weakest teams so they can get into the finals. St. James says, no, if we're going to host, we're going to play the best teams out there, and we're going to take Southern Cal, one of the ranked teams nationally, head on. So you got to respect that bravado.
Absolutely, and if anything, it just makes you play better. When you get 3 in a row, you know going into this game, hey, we've played tough opponents. We're 0-2. We really have nothing to lose. Let's get out here and see what we've got.
And for St. James, bigger picture, for them, they're in the MAC, the Mid-Atlantic Conference. You got to deal with Eric Singletary and Sidwell. You got to deal with Murray, and you got to deal with St. Andrews. And with those other schools, these types of showcase games against national powers, that's what's going to prepare you to try to win that Mid-Atlantic Conference.
Nicely done there by Solo Ball on the fast break.
They last won the MAC in 2016, so looking to end that drought. And we'll get a shuffle from Cooper, and that's a travel.
Yeah, Cooper, I mean, after that last sequence a couple minutes ago, he's going to get some space to work with. I mean, Cooper's a big guy out on the floor for them. We talked about in the open, 6'6", the tallest player for Scotland Prep, with DJ Jamison out. And we've seen type of versatility from him early on.
Yeah, and at St. James, it's been fun to watch the growth of their basketball program. In 2014, they won the MAC and then won again in 2016 after a long drought prior to that. They really built this program. You had a Justin Robinson who was in the NBA. I believe he's in the G League now, playing internationally as well. As they've really grown the program, and they've gotten it to a level where this whole event has been elevated to a new level based off of what the program itself has done.
Absolutely.
Driving, and now kick out for the Knights. Drive inside towards the bucket, and that is a tough score for Wallace out of New York, number 24. St. James kick out of their own. Little step back, thought about it, 20 seconds, and what a throwdown! Solomon Ball out of nowhere with the slam dunk.
Everybody was moving out of his way there as he came in way up high for that slam.
And he's clapping it up as he looks superhuman on that exchange. And it's a 2-point game. And there's an answer from 31, Stephen Olawu out of Maryland.
Such a fast pace so far in this game.
4-point game now. Gorham up top, running the point. They get it to Ball. Ball inside, lost the handle. Here come the Knights. 2-on-1. Inside, and a little soft lay in there from Seu Kenneth.
They have been so good on the transition game. Scotland Prep, this prep squad so far in this game, quickly getting the rebound, pushing it up the floor.
Gorham, little no-look pass to the near side. Kurska can't get it to go. Rebounded there. And it'll be settled up. A little bit of a slower pace for the moment by the Knights, as they'll now get a whistle. And now take a look at our first Gatorade play of the game. Solomon Ball goes sky, brings it back behind his head, and throws it down. That is your Gatorade play of the game.
All spearheaded by that just slight moment of hesitation, the crossover, and then he's inside.
And you love it at these events when one of the host school athletes kind of takes over, and Solomon Ball has left his mark all weekend long here at St. James. 1 minute to go, opening quarter. Knights, they'll drive baseline, kick it to the elbow, looking for a pass. Great help, 3-ball off the mark. Great hustle there from CJ Miles to follow his shot, and it goes.
Pretty play by Miles, able to follow up with it, take it into the paint, and convert.
Now St. James looking to answer. It was a 2-point game, and all of a sudden starting to get a little bit away from them. Jump ball called. This ball was going up, and the arrow favors the Saints, so it'll stay at this end. "19 seconds on the shot clock, 30 seconds on the quarter clock." Ross with the soft little finger roll.
Yeah, that's what's got him several offers, as this one is thrown out of play. Ross, the quick step and the explosiveness to take it all the way into the paint.
That ball right into the VIP seats. And the crowd growing as the day goes long. Ross with it, 14 to work with. Jaden Ross looking for a screen. 7 seconds. Ross still with it. Lost the handle, he traveled. So with 3 seconds, Scotland Prep gonna get a chance.
Yeah, tough defense. They just didn't give him any space to move, and there were no passing lanes, so he had to hold on to it.
3 seconds, gotta go quick. 1 second, it's up. And cannot get that one to fall. Henderson got a good look. So at the end of the first quarter, it is Scotland Prep 22, St. James 16. We'll be back with your second quarter right here on Monumental Sports Network.
Are you ready for some football?
Weird. His legacy is going to be far more powerful.
Our entire careers lead up to this moment.
Marshawn Lloyd, you're the top play on SportsCenter. You are a beast.
Can't get enough basketball? Watch Capital City Go-Go games live right here on Monumental Sports Network. Check out the schedule and find out more at monumentalsportsnetwork.com. She's on her phone. She's probably checking out the app right there, looking at some Go-Go games on demand maybe.
A lot of people checked in here at St. James. Obviously, this is a local team in action today, but we expect to see, as you mentioned, these crowds grow throughout the day. Just such a good event this weekend, such high-quality squads. And when you look at that first quarter, Brian, I think really it was mainly just a case of Scotland Prep coming out of the case running. And if you're St. James, maybe you slow down a little bit, you get through a quarter, you try to get into your offense a little bit. I felt like they were very rushed in that first half because Scotland was pushing in transition on the fast break. See if they can slow the pace a little bit because I've liked what I've seen from St. James offensively at times.
And now perhaps seeing our first adjustment, number 44, Javon Houston, all 6'6" of them checking in for St. James. Perhaps some matchup with Cooper underneath, and it helps there as St. James gets a rebound. Ball into the corner, 3, it goes! St. James with the triple. That is Kreska with the triple.
And that's all about Solomon Ball having the option to drive inside. They know that's an option for him. They don't account for the guy on the wing. kicks it out, knocks down the three.
Knights, and that's a block. Houston says no. Ross says yes. What a transition play. Offense made by defense for the Saints. One-point game, 7:08 to go in the first half. Looking for an answer, a foul, and 3 free throws upcoming for the Knights. And get ready as we got another Gatorade play of the game. A block by Houston, and there is a problem for the Knights. Take a look at this dunk. Ross with the throwdown. Your Gatorade play of the game.
All about that pass ahead from Solomon Ball. Ross, we know he can do that. Such a talented player on this team, high up into the air, and the finish. And it's a really nice response here for St. James to start this second quarter.
7:03 to go, second quarter, and I think the third scoop of the pre-workout might have been a little too much this morning for me, but this has been a fun morning here. 2-point game, Scotland Prep leads by 2, and St. James, the host school, right now hanging tough.
You knew it was going to be that kind of the game once one got underway. These two teams came running right out of the gate, leading to some really exciting plays.
3-point ball game. Solomon Ball brings it up. Ball, outlet to Ross, thought about it, but I think he shuffled. He did. That's going to be a travel.
But regardless of that travel, that dunk and the pass from a couple possessions ago from Ross is going to open up a lot more from him, whether he wants to drive in, shoot the three, kick it out. Just 1 or 2 plays, that's all it takes.
Scotland Prep, 3-point lead, looking to add. And great defense from St. James, really spreading it out on the man. And here comes the triple, and that is good. That is Lucas Henderson with the 3. The France native with the bucket. Ball passes out of a double team to Ross. Little drive, back up top to Ross. 15 to shoot. Looking for the 3, off the mark, hits the top of the backboard and out of bounds.
You know what I love about this Scotland Prep defense is how quick they are to get to the ball. It doesn't matter whether they're playing zone or wherever they're currently located. They are getting and pressuring immediately. There is not a lot of space for St. James to move. And, you know, Scotland, even after that big dunk from Ross, a couple quick buckets, they're back up by 6.
Let's see what the St. James defense can do here as Prep takes a quick shot. Cooper underneath with the rebound. And what a play, what a hustle.
Yeah, that's so tough to defend. He's bigger than you, he's stronger than you, and he wants it more right there, turning around in the paint, going upward strong.
They get it to Ball. Ball drives baseline. Cooper's there, meets him, and that is going to be right back over to the Knights. Knights in transition. 3-ball again, and that falls for Henderson. St. James wants a timeout as the coaching staff arguing their case for a foul on the other end is Coach Breslin.
I mean, Henderson just really efficient from beyond the arc here, and quietly Scotland Prep back up, you know, with the double-digit point lead. We saw a couple bursts for St. James to start this quarter, but I think what's really becoming an issue for them, and we saw it to start this game, is the speed and the pace of Scotland Prep. They have not slowed down once since this game started, and you know, they really haven't had the chance to scout this team. This is the first game this team played in the tournament, and Scotland Prep, it's a well-balanced team, but it's really become Henderson beyond the arc and Cooper in the paint. Those have been the 2 guys so far.
Sometimes basketball is as simple as inside out, and that's what you got right now for Scotland Prep working as St. James steps out of their 30-second timeout. And again, I credit St. James for taking the schedule in this event that they did. I've seen other host schools take the cupcake so they could try to win a trophy, and St. James is saying, nope, we're going to take the best competition, and they're giving it all they can right now. Ross going to drive. Nearly thrown away, but kept by the Saints. Back to Ball, 13 to shoot. He is going to pull it out and reset. 10 to shoot now for Ball. Ball going to try to ISO, drives through, goes up through the forest and gets it. And 1, he'll go to the line for another.
Well, just held on to it, waited. You know, looks for options, waits for the play to develop, but you see his eyes, you see where he wants to go with it. He's trying to find the space to get into the paint, successfully does it, and earns himself a trip to the free throw line.
And you take a look at the offers there. Tech, Pitt, Xavier. I know we missed March Madness last year, but those are all teams that you're usually filling in brackets for. And he looks like he could be the next big star coming out of the DMV the way he's played so far this whole weekend.
And just the other day, another offer, you know, to add on from DePaul. So just continuing to collect them as he plays more games.
And of course, that offer dished out during the tournament. So you got the VIP seats, you got the scouts in the building. Heck, they made me move my car where I parked it because I'm not important enough. You got big names here, and offers are made to be handed out. So anyone who shows out here on Monumental Sports Network, it could be a life-changing moment. As St. James trails, trying to start a rally, start a run here with 4:35 to go. And here comes Coop! And a tough foul, and he'll have to earn them from the line as Houston went down hard but pops back up.
Yeah, they turn it over, and you think that Cooper's going to go up high with it and slam it down his throat, but it's a good response to able to at least prevent the slam. Well, earn him a couple shots from the free throw line.
Credit to our Monumental staff. I love the Wile E. Coyote cam up there.
Just see how high these guys can get up there.
That one rolls off. I don't know about you, Teddy, but if that was me on that exchange, I'd still be down. We'd have a trainer tending to me as these kids just bounce right back up.
Big bodies we saw in the last game. Players hitting the deck, coming back up, just continuing to be physical, fighting for the plays.
Got them both 10-point game with 4:30 to go in the first half. They get it to Ross, into the corner to the other Ross. Jaden looking for some help. He'll take the fadeaway, doesn't get it to go. Henderson will bring it up for the Knights. Inside to Cooper, and Ross with a nice tip away. 20 seconds to work with on the shot clock. Gorham will check back in.
It's a nice idea by Scotland Prep to try to isolate Cooper underneath. A good response by Ross. You know, both Jaden and Jacob Ross are so lengthy with their wingspans that, you know, you can match them up against Cooper. And we see Jaden Ross is facing him. Maybe they think that's going to slow him down. You put somebody wide on, you know, with that kind of length. We'll see what it can do. I mean, you look at the Scotland Prep team besides Cooper. I mean, they don't have that much height. So it is an opportunity for St. James that they get a steal here.
Christian Clover's pass picked off by Gorham. Gorham has his ball knocked out of bounds, and that'll be a turnover. Seeing that number 0 on Gorham and his height reminds me a lot of Chris Likes, former Gonzaga star who went on to play at Miami.
Very reminiscent. You know, he's a quick guy, a lot of potential.
Drives through, and the Rosses can't get it, but Cooper does, and puts it back up for 2.
Back up by 12 here.
Ball. Is he going to take it himself? No. Baseline, and Ross is there. Cooper with the rebound, and if you can't block out Cooper, it's going to be a long afternoon as that one doesn't go. Rebounded there. And here comes St. James, 3:20 to go. Ross says, why not? A heat check for 3.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't working. They were trying to get into the paint. Cooper was in the way. He says, hey, hold on. Taking myself from downtown.
It's one way to take Cooper out of the game, but they'll go inside, and Seo Kenneth with another. And Kenneth has been pretty stout in the post himself.
Well, they're moving really well, Scotland Prep is, to get opportunities in the paint.
Ross contested closely by Cooper. Ball will stay on this side.
And I think that's, you know, the biggest trouble for St. James on offense is that Scotland is moving so quickly that you just can't connect a lot of passes. The ball keeps getting knocked away, and there's not much space in the paint.
A lot of times on those entry passes, you got to switch it up to the bounce pass. And St. James, a lot of direct passes, and that's one way to negate the speed factor. As they thought about ball, instead it's Gorham, 15 to shoot. Gorham into the corner to Ross. Doesn't go, trying to tip it back. Perhaps a kick out, and that's going to be Cooper with it. Knights into the corner. Thought about the three. Great passing. Long triple, and that will roll along the top, and that is out of bounds back to the Saints.
I mean, when you look at Scotland play on offense, it feels like there's a lot less pressure, so they have time, pass it across, try the three. For St. James, they don't quite have as much time. So that's going to be the challenge for them, is how do they find the opportunities with more pressure in their face?
Ross, not the best shot selection there, as that's a turnover. Right back to Clover. Clover lost his feet, and that will be a foul assessed to Jacob Ross.
That's what I love about the way Scotland Prep is playing. There has not been one possession where they've gotten a rebound and they've just slowly meandered up the court. Every single time, get the rebound and go. And if they can't catch us, we're just going to keep scoring or earn ourselves trips from the line. And it's been a good strategy so far.
We are going to have one of the Scotland Prep administrators with us in the third quarter. I'm going to ask, did they send the track team of the basketball team? Because they have been running and gunning all afternoon long, as Henderson gets that one to fall. St. James with under 2 to play in the half. Great ball movement. Ross, baseline, little handoff. Nice idea, doesn't roll, as here comes the Knights once more. Great ball movement. Three ball, doesn't go, and it is rebounded by Gorham. They'll go to Ross in the post. Ross instead brings it back up top to Ball, 17 to shoot. Ball from the elbow doesn't go, Cooper with it, and Cooper working his way towards double-digit rebounds. Clover takes it himself, and he'll be fouled by Ball.
Yeah, but that's what Scotland Campus, or Scotland Prep rather, has been doing so well, is if they're not going to face you, St. James, immediately, go to the paint or kick it out. Just a little bit of shimmy, holding on to it, gets in the paint, loses his defender, and it's an opportunity for Clover.
1:16 to go before the half.
And they a lot of substitutions for Scotland Prep. It's a team that's doing a nice job of keeping these starters fresh.
And they certainly have the depth to facilitate that. That one will fall. And one thing we haven't seen from a team like a Scotland Prep with their depth is a lot of pressing. They just play straight up. They don't do anything extra, as that one doesn't fall for Ball. Henderson drives through. Lay-in doesn't go. Rebounded by the Saints. And Ball going to try to get some transition going to Ross. Ross this time defended great up top. And the rebound, it'll stay on this end. Credit to number 3, Christian Clover, straight up on defense.
You watch this right here. Ball, able to find the open player. Ross goes up with it. The shot is just off the mark. They battle for it. A couple shots in a row, St. James has just missed off the rim. They haven't gotten any of the rolls recently.
And we got a technical foul here. It was a 1-and-1 called, and we're going to tack on a tech. So they're saying technical foul was assessed to number 1, Solomon Ball.
Solomon Ball, a really great player. I'd love to see him take it himself more. Go into the paint, draw contact, get to the line. I feel like he's been just a little bit too tentative here in the first half.
Knights can't get that to go, and they are just crushing St. James on the boards, and that's really the difference here in this first half, as now they'll outlet. Gorham brings it up. 25 to shoot. Gorham sends it in the corner to Ross. Great reversal. That one off the back iron. Rebounded there by 31, Stephen Oluwu. Shot clock is off, 20 seconds to go in the half. Henderson up top. Rather, that's Miles. Kick out. Henderson, that's blocked. Gorham with it, 9 seconds. St. James has time, don't panic. Ross with it, 5 seconds. Ross, kick out, 3-ball. Off the mark. And that will do it for your first half, as Scotland Prep will head into the locker room with a 42-26 lead over St. James. And Teddy, what a fast-paced first half.
Yeah, I think, for St. James with Jaden Ross and Jacob Ross, we talked about Solomon Ball. They've got some talent on this offense, but there hasn't been a lot of second-chance opportunities. You mentioned it. They've gotten dominated on the boards. They haven't shot a great percentage. And for this prep team from Scotland, they have just continued to push and push and push, and that's why they're up big at half.
We'll take a break, and we'll be back with your second half of action right here at the St. James Invitational Tournament on Monumental Sports Network, presented by Zips Dry Cleaning. Hello and welcome back to the St. James Invitational Tournament presented by Zips Dry Cleaners, where the Scotland Knights lead 42-26 over the host school St. James here at halftime. Brian Kapoor here alongside Teddy Gelman and, of course, Chris Cheney, one of the head coaches at Scotland Prep Campus. Great to have you with us.
Thanks for inviting me.
It's great to have you. Let's take a look at that impressive first half on both sides. Teddy, take us through.
Yeah, you look at this Scotland Prep team. Obviously, we're going to talk to Coach about it more and about this team, but it's Cooper inside that was a real problem for St. James in this first half. You see him get the save here, able to feed it inside, the missed shot, get the board again, go back up with it. Cooper, once again, off the missed shot in the paint, able to come up with the loose ball, get up with it again. That was really what got them going early in that game. On the other side, though, for St. James, it's Solomon Cooper. We saw him with a number of opportunities. I thought he could have been a little bit more aggressive, and he was at the end of the half. Driving inside, able to get it, and then here, after the turnover on the fast break, able to push it forward, and the big slam from Ross, and then Ball himself, taking it baseline, able to finish with the slam. So, as we've been talking about, there have been some positive moments for St. James in that first half, but I thought it was really a matter of Scotland Prep getting out of the gate quick and a little bit too quick for St. James to handle. And, you know, Coach, you talk about this, you know, Scotland coming in as a last-minute fill-in, and for the other teams not having the experience of playing against this team early on in this tournament. What does that do for you when you haven't seen them early on?
We're really about what we do, so it was a great opportunity for our guys to come here. So, again, they were definitely looking forward to it, and you could tell by the first half that they were focused and ready to play.
And so, for Coach, for our viewers, we talked about this a little bit off air, but if they're just tuning in, they said Scotland already played. There's another team. Talk about those three varsity teams that you have. You have kind of your traditional team and then the two prep teams.
Yes, so we basically have 5 teams all together. We have players from 14 different states, 14 different countries. We have 2 high school teams and 3 post-grad teams. So basically, we're a sports academy, and we're trying to get these guys to create the everyday habits for them to be successful at the next level.
One question that's kind of been burning for me to ask, especially from this first half, Cooper, what type of looks is he getting? Because he really showed out in the post.
No, Roe's done great for us. I mean, you could tell he's been with us for 2 years, so he brings that everyday energy. He brings that toughness that our culture is about. So, I mean, right now he's got some D2s, some JUCOs, looking at him, but, I mean, he's definitely a tough matchup just because of his physical type of play.
It's almost like he heard us talking about it as he brought the ball up off the rebound.
Yes.
Yeah, Coach, we're talking about the many scouts that are coming out here to check out these players, and the way we understand it, you know, this prep team, a number of players who are going to get Division II looks.
Yes, I mean, it's a great opportunity for them, and again, the great thing about post-grad basketball is you're living away from home, you're playing for a new coach, you're playing in a new system, you're creating those everyday habits. So when you go to college, you're just so much more ready than that average high school kid that comes in.
So far, so good for your Scotland prep squad as they're up 42-26. Got a whistle. That'll be a foul on the Knights.
I mean, what sort of recruiting do you guys do beyond when you talk about the different levels and the different teams that you have? How do you guys get into that and get these players into your program?
Basically, obviously, I've been doing it for a while. I'm from the Maryland area. I actually coached in this tournament in the 90s when I was at the Newport School in Kensington. So it's basically through our contacts internationally and American, and we're just looking for the kids that want to work hard, those kids that have a chip on their shoulder and want to get better. And obviously, post-grad is a big thing because everybody wants to go post-grad. Just give them more opportunity.
And, Coach, talk about your track record. I mean, over 140 college athletes passing through your way, NBA players as well.
Yeah, I've been very lucky to have had a lot of great players and coaches with me, and from the players, I've had 20 NBA guys, over 140 Division I players, 70 international pros. Obviously, being from the Maryland area, Keith Stevens from Team Takeover was my assistant coach for 6 years. Steve Turner from Gonzaga was my assistant for a year. So we've had just great people. And again, we all have the same philosophies. We all have the same beliefs, and we're just one big family.
Talk about the dedication, because with your track record, those guys a lot of times will move to the college or NBA level. What is so special about Scotland Prep that's kept you there?
I just love the prep school area. I love changing people's lives and this age guys. And it's funny, I was just talking to Solomon Ball from St. James. Actually went to Scotland campus 2 years ago. So we're really tight with their family. I was just speaking to them at halftime, and he had just the other day got an offer from DePaul. And DePaul's assistant, Terrence Crump, was my point guard for one of my national championships teams. So, again, it all goes together a lot. And, again, he's always going to be part of our family and all that kind of stuff. And that's what it's about, just making these kids better and giving them as many opportunities as possible.
Great passing here. That is into the corner. 3 for Ross, doesn't go.
Well, we talked about, the brothers, the Ross brothers on this St. James team. We talk about Ball, a number of these players already getting, Division I offers. Who have you seen this weekend, maybe yesterday or Friday, that stands out, other players from other teams that you like?
Yeah, I mean, St. James has played well all week. I mean, you can tell their legs are starting to get to them a little bit because 3 games in 3 days. And actually, I think they might have played a game before the tournament. So it can definitely take a tear on you. But I've watched a lot of good ball this week. Obviously, Southern Cal, I'm really tight with those guys. And they obviously got a lot of guys. But Goretti's got a couple sleepers. Number 3 and 30 are really good players. Collegiate, I like their big guys. I like number 22 for Collegiate. So it's always been a great tournament, and it's just good 3 days of basketball.
Being so well tied to the DMV, you mentioned Keith Stevens, Steve Turner, guys that are mainstays in the DMV scene. Any particular player from the DMV that you're looking at that could be that next guy, perhaps all-matter player of the year, guys to watch? Yeah,
I mean, I know Keith's got that WCAC is such good basketball, and it's, I mean, people don't realize every day it's a fight. Every day it's good basketball. So, again, I don't know the DC guys, the kids as much, but if they're a DMV guy, they're going to be ready to play, and they've been coached the right way, and they're ready to go. Yeah, I was a Bishop Ireton alum, so we were at the bottom of the WCAC, but every night, you never know. Every night. I remember our JV took down DeMatha, and it was a big deal at school the next day. Oh, there's no doubt. And like one of my another alumni is assistant coach at National Christian, Ray Brewer, who's one of Keith Stevens' assistants, but he played for me back in the day too. So it's going to be great to see him later on, and again, it's coming back to this tournament is always special.
So next season moving forward, obviously the prep team, a last-minute fill-in, but excited to have them here. What do you envision moving forward for your program as a whole and your multiple teams with this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, again, we can build from it, and it's great for our guys to say they played in it and all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I know I was just right before I came on, I was talking to one of the coaches from Allegheny, and so, again, they were looking at a couple of these guys. So, again, we try to give them as many opportunities as possible. And obviously our main prep team right now, we're 23-2, top 5 team in the country. So we got a big week next week where we're going up to Massanutten Military Challenge and playing Mount Zion and Hargrave Military. So, again, there's a lot of good basketball left for all of our teams. Of course, in recent years, you've kind of had the rise of the 5th-year senior. And a lot of schools, it's kind of a bad word to say
you guys have kind of embraced it. Talk about how you've embraced that, and are there difficulties scheduling or anything like that?
No, I mean, prep school was big, especially on the East Coast, so we know who we are. And again, for our high school guys, we play high school teams. For prep, there's so many good post-grad teams, and we actually have a conference. They call it the GAC conference that all of our teams are in. So and the teams from Ohio, New Jersey, Maryland, a lot of different states. So it's always that's always good too. So the competition's there, the everyday competition's there too. Just playing against our own guys. So. We're just trying to keep building, and Scotland's, I mean, we got a beautiful 167-acre campus. We have our baseball program is led by two ex-Major League Baseball players, Josh Edgen and Steve Lombardozzi. We also have Joel Frintas, who was on the staff with the New York Mets for the last 15 years. So, again, it's not just the basketball. We got baseball, we got soccer. And it's a very international type of campus. We're about 60% international.
That's awesome. That's such great, exposure both for the international students and the domestic ones to experience that cultural exchange.
There's no doubt. Like number 5, Lucas Henderson, that just missed that layup. He's from France. I mean, he played a high level in France, and he just loves to play, loves to work, and. So for those type of kids, it's great to come to the United States and get a great experience and learn how to play.
Do you think there's anything that somebody like that coming internationally can bring to the program as somebody who has played with other players in, say, France or Spain or wherever these players are coming from? Anything noteworthy that they can bring and contribute as an international player?
Oh, there's no doubt. I mean, I love the international guys just because they usually have great work ethics. They know how to play. They play the right way. So, I mean, we've been very blessed with really good international guys the last couple of years. I mean, 3 years ago, we had a kid from France who's now at Texas Tech. We had another kid on that team that went to Pitt, started at Pitt. I mean, so it's been a good experience with the international kids. But then you see the kids just get relationships with these other guys, and they become friends for a lifetime, and that's even more important than the basketball.
And of course, such a special event. You get a look at a flashback to the 2020 edition. A lot of talent on the floor, as there has been in this year's event. As Ball with a nice behind the back, trying to get something going for St. James as they trail 53-35 late third quarter, and we'll get a foul on the floor.
What's next for this, I guess you can call it, your second prep team, this team that's playing right now? What do they have to close out the season after this?
So they got a couple more weeks of games, and then our GAC conference playoffs are actually at Scotland this year, and they'll be one of the favorites in the silver division. So, I mean, and again, it's just trying to get, colleges on them and all that stuff. In the last 2 years, we've actually had 76 guys get some type of scholarship from our basketball programs, and that's obviously a lot. So we put a lot of time into it, and there's places for everybody, but more importantly, we think our kids are ready when they get to those spots.
And Coach, you've been here all weekend. We got a big one coming up after this, Combine against Goretti. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
I haven't seen Combine yet, but I know Goretti. I heard they played well last night. So again, Goretti's going to play hard. They're going to play the right way. So I think that's going to be a good game to watch. And obviously the final should be a good one also.
Underneath, and that one is deflected initially, and then that's a Windex glass cleaner there for 21, Dylan Murphy.
Yeah, so far in this third quarter, I mean, we've seen for any buckets that St. James is able to get, Scotland's been able to respond. Nice three there by Ross, though.
That was a nice triple by Ross. St. James trying to build some momentum, down 15. And we'll get a couple of substitutions.
Take a look at this right here as you have Ball holding on to it. Great pass behind him, and lots of time for Ross to wind up and finish it.
1:33 to go in the third.
And we were talking last game, Coach, about this St. James team. You know, it's a host. Certainly not taking the easy way. They have three of the toughest opponents, or at least the first two games, you know, fell against California. But you throw in a Scotland Prep team like this that you haven't seen before after 2 consecutive games as a host team, you know, they're certainly trying to get the most out of it themselves.
Oh, there's no doubt. And this will help them for conference play the last couple of weeks. And these games will definitely, find out where you are, find out what you can do, what you need to work on, and figure it out. But again, I think they've definitely represented themselves really well this week.
And I've covered tournaments, and I said this in the first quarter, where the host team will set up the easiest matchups possible to try to win their trophy. I kind of admire the fact that they said, if we're bringing in these talented teams, we want them first.
No, I mean, Kevin does a great job here, and he's always doing it the right way and wants the most for his guys. And again, I mean, even the Southern Cal game the first night, I mean, first quarter and a half, they threw as many punches at him as they possibly could. So,
ball's off the mark there. 1:10 to go in the third. Off the glass, that one can't fall. That was a good thought for Clover, and here comes St. James. Turnover off the glass. Thought alley-oop perhaps, but that'll be a soft lay-in instead. 47 seconds to go. St. James puts up the 3, doesn't fall. Trying to get the rebound, they do. Saints looking for the reset. No, they'll put up the quick 3, and it's good. Number 3, Soreska with the triple. .30 seconds, about a 7-second differential between game and shot clock underneath, and that's going to be an offensive drawn by Ross. That's Jaden Ross getting the ball back.
Yeah, that was, you know, one of the first times in this game we've really seen St. James stand tall defensively. You see that, and we saw the foot was moving on one of those similar plays in the first half. But, Coach, something we talked a lot in that first half was, you know, this Scotland Prep team right out of the gate running. Every single play, running. And it just is difficult to defend when you have that kind of speed all the time.
There's no doubt. And they came with the energy, and again, I think it's a big advantage of them. Their first game played this weekend. So, again, I think that was a big advantage for our guys.
10 seconds, ball with it. Gonna try to beat the buzzer. Let's see what he can dial up. Ball, spin move from the elbow. Lost the handle going up. He'll go to the line for a couple with half a second on the clock. Is an up-tempo, is that kind of a hallmark of what the Scotland Prep program does, or does it vary team to team?
We try to play at a fast pace, and like our main prep team, we're known for obviously playing fast, but we also press a lot too. So again, I think we want to play with a purpose. We want to play with passion, and again, the kids like that style. But I always say we play fast, but on the other hand, discipline.
You got to have the depth to run that too, and the conditioning.
No doubt.
So ball, one more chance, and an unorthodox buzzer beater, as he'll get a chance to hit this one, and he does. Clock will restart on the inbound. Or not. They haven't set. There it is. Coach Chaney, thank you so much for joining us. It was a pleasure to pick your brain for an entire quarter.
I appreciate you guys having me, and good luck the rest of the tournament.
Yeah, same to you moving forward.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. We'll definitely keep an eye on that Scotland Prep program. Thank you once again, Coach.
Appreciate it.
At the end of the third quarter at the St. James Invitational Tournament, it's Scotland Campus Prep 59, St. James School 45. We'll be back with your fourth quarter. Watch Monumental Basketball on Monumental Sports Network. Tune in March 10th through the 12th to watch the Alhambra Catholic Invitational Tournament, the most prestigious Catholic high school tournament in the country. Get access at monumentalsportsnetwork.com and don't miss a minute of the action. Coach Chaney talked a little bit about the WCAC and how it's a bloodbath night in and night out, and it's going to be so fun to get to cover that on Monumental Sports Network. That event, the WCAC champion get to play some of the other talented Catholic schools from the country, and I can't wait. That's going to be a great one to watch. And the WCAC right now is just a complete jumble. You don't really know who's going to emerge, so can't wait to see that one. But before we get there, we got a great day to wrap up here at St. James, where the host school trails 45-59 going into the fourth. Let's see if they can rally on their third straight day of hoops.
I mean, they're not down by as much as they were at some point in this game. They're still in it. You know, a couple minutes, make a couple buckets. They're playing really hard. They played hard at the end of that third quarter. We'll see what they can do here in the fourth.
Scotland trying to close it out, and they'll start that endeavor with a three from 24, Wallace.
Yeah, Drayshawn Wallace has been really smooth from behind the arc today.
Ross trying to answer, can't do it off the mark. Wallace will bring it up. Close defense there. Clover three, it goes. Rather, that's Lucas Henderson. Part of that international flair on the Knights squad. Almost from the logo, as that one goes out of bounds. Back over to the Knights.
Yeah, I mean, the Scotland prep team, we talked about that they can run, but they just really have a lot of weapons. And you see it, they kick it out here. Looked like that foot might have been inside the line, but they'll get the three regardless. But, you know, for the Scotland team, they just can hit you from a lot of different weapons, and they move the ball really well. I really love the way number 24, Wallace, is playing.
Wallace thought about it, drive, kick out, great ball movement. Clover, little floater, doesn't go. And there's Wallace again. He's saying the fourth quarter is my time.
Well, it just kind of reminds me of almost like a Lou Williams type. Quick, kind of crafty, good shot selection.
St. James gets it to Jaden Ross. Prosecco with it near side, and now back to Ross. Kick out, three. On the mark for Jack Ashby Jacobs. And that could be the boost St. James needs if they're going to make a run.
Not out of it yet. Ashby Jacobs able to, you know, get to a good spot. Good ball movement by them. They find him, loads up, and able to finish. You know, first time we've really been calling his name today. It's a young team. We mentioned it in the open. So the more they can get some of these younger guys out there, give them looks. We talked about solo ball, Jaden Ross, Jacob Ross, but beyond that, they need to get some of these other guys to develop. And the more you can get them looks, that'll help. Every minute, every possession is valuable, even being down big in a game like this. You got 6.5 minutes left. You know, the message has got to be from head coach Kevin Breslin. I'm sure it is. Let's keep getting out there every possession, find good shots, play good defense. Let's finish strong. And remember, we're playing against some of the best out there. Let's use the best. And remember that we can get better because of who we're playing.
And again, for them, it's all about getting ready for the MAC conference play. And you got your Sidwells, your Murrays, your St. Andrews, and St. James wants to win their first MAC title since 2016. And it starts with tough weeks like this.
Yeah, I mean, there really hasn't been a tougher schedule for a singular opponent. I guess you could nitpick it, but to go up against the favorite in Southern California in the first game, Trinity, they played tough yesterday. Hopefully, for their sake, they could finish strong here against Scotland Prep.
Knights, 20 to shoot. Wallace again, and that's your heat check, doesn't go. Ball will bring it up. Ball. Shifty, can't get it to go. Fell on the floor, it'll be a 1-and-1.
Wonder what it's like for Solomon Ball. Obviously, this isn't the team that he played with when he was at Scotland, but being part of that, you know, organization for one season, going, you know, playing there, and then moving over here, really leading this St. James team. He's a very deliberate player. You see him when he dribbles into the paint. Very, very smart in what he's doing. He never rushes it, and obviously that's why he's such a highly sought-after prospect.
Was he looking for a high five there? No one was there for him?
It might have been.
He got Brady'd. That one goes in. Now the trap is on. We're seeing our first press so far, and he just couldn't quite handle that on the sideline for Ball.
Yeah, Cooper coming back in now. He had a good rest in that end of that third quarter.
And that's one of the luxuries of a lead, and St. James never really made a run despite having him on the bench.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, they had opportunities, but Scotland Prep never felt cold in this game at all. They might have been a couple moments when they weren't able to score consecutive buckets, but they never had as cold. They have not had a cold spell in this game, and it's just a very well-run team, like Coach told us before in that third quarter. They don't overdo it. They create good shots, and they hustle.
That was a shot clock adjustment down to 23 was the holdup. Cooper cutting towards the basket. Instead, well, he's there for the rebound. And he will put it up, and it goes. And a lot of teams give out awards like hard hat for different heady plays. Some teams do Windex. If there is a Windex, he gets it because he's dominated the boards and cleaned up the glass.
On both ends.
Looking for an answer, and there's one for St. James Koreska as he hits the triple. And right there, Henderson again. And anytime St. James gets a little traction, the Knights have an answer.
I mean, Henderson's such a solid stroke. He really hasn't missed that mid-range jump shot much tonight. Today, I should say.
St. James gets a bucket back there, but they got to make a stop. And Henderson with the heat check miss, but Wallace is there, and he's been the fourth quarter star.
Yeah, 5'10" guard out of New York. See if he gets any offers, the senior.
That one doesn't fall. Rebound goes to Clover. Quickly down the floor, and Cooper for two.
What a pass by Clover. Perfectly laid right in there.
And St. James trying to play fast with the clock as ball gets out and almost is playing into the hands of how the Knights want to play. They've stretched out to a 19-point lead. We'll get a charge. We'll get a blocking foul, rather.
It's a difficult matchup for them because they don't really have the big body to match up against Cooper. So they could find ways to get into the paint, knock down three-point shots, but they're never really going to take that out of the equation. And with Ball and then the Ross brothers, a lot of that game is kind of paint and outside. So there haven't been, they're not winning the battle in the paint, but they can keep fighting with it. It's just hard to maintain that when you don't have the player to match up against their tallest player.
That one doesn't fall. Rebounded by Ross. Jacob Ross with the take and the bucket. We go right into the press, which is easily broken there by the Knights. Knights stuck on the baseline. Clover looking for some help. Cross-court pass, three ball. Off the mark. Jane Ross with the rebound. Gorham will bring it up. No kickball called. This goes back to the Knights. In transition, doesn't fall. Rebounded there by the Knights. So it remains with red. That's Henderson. Three ball. It goes. That's a swish and flick for Christian Clover.
Even with the big lead, Scotland Prep is not slowing down. They just keep firing away. Back up to 20.
If St. James wants to push it, they say, okay, we'll do the same. And as fast as St. James want to play, it's almost like being in quicksand or in the coils of an anaconda. The more you struggle, the more you fight, the more unfavorable the position becomes. Knights to Cooper, and that's just too easy. Back to a 22-point lead, 3:05 to go. Ross, three, it goes. Jaden Ross with a triple. Walsh trying to bring it up, and it's cleared. And a little Euro step in there from the Frenchman, Lucas Henderson. Ball through the trees. Cooper, great defense straight up as Henderson gets in transition. Henderson had Wallace, but for the first time we're seeing Scotland Prep pulling it out and taking some air out of the ball. So much for that. They go inside to Cooper.
Yeah, I mean, and you could tell St. James is just kind of gassed at this point. When your opponent runs the whole game, 84 points, it's just a big challenge.
That one doesn't go. Henderson wide open, little easy lay-in, timeout St. James.
Yeah, Kevin Breslin wants to get his guys a rest here. I mean, you talk about the Ross brothers and you know, of course, Jaden Ross is going to be playing at the next level. Jacob Ross, a lot of bright spots on this team. They're just really getting run out of here.
And here is our Zips player of the game. Who else? Root Cooper. He did it all in the post, cleaning up the boards all afternoon long.
Yeah, just never really went away. A pest in there. Continued to get the rebounds, go back up with it. Multiple opportunities, and then he had a solid rest there in the third quarter, came back out here. Just a great all-around big man.
Cooper is our Zips player of the game. Zips Dry Cleaners has perfected the science of professional garment care. Smarter means faster. Faster means higher volume. That's how Zips passes the savings on to you. Of course, at the conclusion of this game, maybe ice up, grab a snack, but don't go too far from your Monumental Sports Network app. We got Combine against St. Maria Goretti, your third place game here at the St. James Invitational. Things just heating up here in Hagerstown. Rosser gonna drive. Jaden can't get it to go. Rebounded by the Knights. Here comes Henderson in transition for the lay-in.
Really looking forward to that Combine team. You know, 0-2 in the tournament so far, but a chance to come out of here with third place. Oh, wow. Look at that.
Solomon Ball with a rim-rattling dunk. And here could be another one for Ross, and why not? Throw it down, young man.
Yeah, you see Solomon Ball pumped up there with Ross.
And Solomon Ball with your Gatorade play of the game. Check this out. Go Sky. And that is as close to a tomahawk as you will get as he throws that down. Your Gatorade play of the game. Cooper says, here's one more for me.
Says, I'm the player of the game.
Exactly. Gatorade for everyone. That one, turnover. Henderson, a lay-in. And you can just see the lack of breath on a lot of these St. James players is now they're going to get a hockey substitution, full line shift. Ross can't get that one to go. Rebound, Knights. Here comes Wallace, no look, and he gets the lay-in. Three ball, Paleska doesn't go. Ross with the tip.
Give him credit. I mean, under a minute, down 20 plus as we get a foul here so they can get some fresh guys in. But, you know, down big at the end. You just see a little burst from the Ross brothers and Solomon Ball. You know, they want to come finish this tournament at home. You want to finish it well. And regardless of how tough this game has been and the weekend has been, there are bright spots. And hopefully they can take those away from this.
The fact that they're this gassed and still making those explosive plays, that's going to be something that you build on in film study if you're Coach Kevin Breslin. That's something that you can hang your hat on, and that's something come the February Frenzy in the MAC that will come back as a win when they're looking to win a conference title.
Yeah, you say, hey, this team we're playing right now just in for this one game. They haven't played 2 games in a row. We did. We played some of the best competition. See what we can learn from it and bounce back at the end of this season.
Getting our first look at number 4, Callie Ferguson. Also got number 24, Kenneth Ho out there for St. James. Number 23, Urza Burdette seeing some action. Number 12, Ray Zahn as well. And of course, 33 in the post, Brady Lees. St. James getting everybody some action. You'd love to see that. 8 seconds to go, and you just got them dribbling it out. And for Henderson, I love that he's just holding it. He's not going to throw up any junk. Classy way to end it as Scotland Prep goes on to win 96-67 over the host school, St. James.
Yeah, I mean, they were a showcase team. Scotland Prep certainly showed these talented players, and a tough weekend, as we mentioned, for St. James, but obviously a lot to take away from.
So for Teddy Gelman, I am Brian Kapoor saying stay tuned right here at the St. James School, where the final score for this game is Scotland Prep 96, St. James 67. Our next game will start in about 20 minutes, so stay tuned when the third place game goes down. It's Combine against Goretti, and that is next on Monumental Sports Network, presented by Zips Dry Cleaners. We will resume shortly.